Hello dear friends and fellow students. In this video, I'm going to continue from lesson 1 and introduce 4 more herbs that belongs to group 1, the warm, acrid herbs to release exterior cold. The 4 herbs are 荆芥, 防风, 羌活, and 高本. These 4 herbs' main function is expel wind and wind dampness. In Chinese, I remember this as 谨防, 抢高本. 荆芥, 防风, 羌活, and 高本. In English, I memorize as JFK and tallest band defend against wind and wind dampness. The first herb in this group is 荆芥. I call it JJ. If you look at this herb is brown in color, a little fuzzy, and I can actually spell the initial JJ out of it. So the way I remember its function is I imagine a Superman, his name's JJ, and his cape is blowing in the wind. And he's wearing a golden ring. This golden ring is very special and powerful. It can help with all skin issues as well as stop bleeding. So in Chinese, 荆芥 rhymes with the word 荆芥子, mean golden ring. Thereby, that special golden ring helps with all rashes and sores, and as well as it helps bleeding in its charred form. So you have to char this herb to make the bleed stop. 荆芥 is also very special as the cape blowing the wind. It's primarily for wind, so it can either help wind cold and wind heat patterns. The second herb is 防风. I call it FF, such as JJ and FF, and always together, such as JFK. And 防风 in Chinese mean protect against the wind, and it enters the liver channel. As you see, it can help with the wind, and also its color is kind of yellow, so it enters the spleen channel. So since it enters the spleen channel, it can stop diarrhea. And the liver channel, and it can expel wind and relieve spasm. This spasm is especially for trembling hands and feet, and also spasm due to tetanus. As this herb and 2 more other herbs that we will introduce next, it can expel wind dampness and alleviate pain and help with B syndrome. Our next herb is 羌活. As you see, this herb is a little bit dark. So those dark herbs reminds me of the kidney channel because black is related to the kidney channel. And kidney and bladder channel are related internal-external channels. So it helps me to remember the 羌活 will help with the headache. The headache is in the back of the headache because the bladder channel runs in our back. And as well, it helps with expel dampness and stop pain for the wind cold B syndrome. So the 羌活, the 活, has 3 little dots, and those 3 little dots in Chinese mean water. So it actually expels more dampness than wind. So in our last herb, the 防风, that actually expel more wind than dampness, and 羌活 expel more dampness than wind. And this is also related to another herb called 独活, and 羌活 is mainly for the B syndrome arthritis on the upper body, and 独活 is mainly for the arthritis at the lower body. The fourth herb is called 高本. 高 in Chinese means high. So this means very tall. I remember it as a tallest band. So tallest band would hit his head on the very top. So this will help the vertex headache, the top of the head, liver meridian. If you look at this herb, it also reminds me of the brain or the head. As well, it also helps with B syndrome. So in summary, I have made this chart. The class B herbs that expel wind and wind dampness. So the first one to review is 荆芥子, JJ, Superman JJ with the golden ring that helps with all the skin issues and as well as bleeding when charred, and helps with all the wind issues because the wind blows in the cape blows in the wind and helps the wind cold and wind heat. And the next 3, 防风, 羌活, and 高本, all help wind damp B syndrome, which is arthritis syndrome. 防风, because it has foam in it, FF, so it's more strong to get rid of the wind. It also is yellow in color, so it helps the spleen channel with the diarrhea, and the wind, the spasm with tetanus. And next one is 羌活. 羌活, because it's black in color, enters bladder and kidney channel. It helps the back headache. It's more stronger in get rid of the dampness because the 3 dots here, and it helps with upper limb pain versus the lower limb pain in 独活. And the fourth one is 高本. I think it's very tall bend, hit his head, and helps with a vertex headache. It enters the liver channel. So basically, JFQ is similar to the word K. So I remember this group as JFK or JFQ and the tallest bend defend against pain against the wind dampness. Thank you for watching, and I will introduce the part 3 of this group, the herb, in my next video. And best luck on your test.